Hello, everyone. This is your host, Debra Poneman, and I'd like to welcome you to our call with today's guest, Lisa Barnett. Lisa is the founder of the Akashic Knowing School of Wisdom. As an internationally known teacher, Lisa supports her students and clients with resources for achieving clarity and healing with unconditional love, guidance, and wisdom from the masters of the Akashic Records. She accesses this ancient healing wisdom of the Akashic field with ease by using sacred prayers given to her from the Lords of the Akashic Records, and then teaches this to her students so that they too can access their personal Akashic record. With more than 20 years of experience in the spiritual healing forum, Lisa specializes in working with individuals to help them become centered on their soul's path. And through the guidance of the Akashic Record, Lisa also clears soul contracts, karma, and vows for her clients. Her special healing technique called pain body release energetically helps to release accumulated emotional pain, which may have been present throughout numerous lifetimes. This ancient wisdom helps you at a soul level to create the life your heart and soul desire. And today, we'll discover an ancient wisdom that's been around from time immemorial that the world is now ready to access again. Simple techniques to clear your karma and get unstuck. You'll also discover that you not only have contracts with people in this lifetime, but you'll learn how we make them and how we know when they're complete. You'll also learn why you chose your family of origin. Wow, that's going to be interesting. And how working in the Akashic Record can not only help you to achieve abundance in life, but will help you to reclaim past life information that will show you how to align with your soul purpose. And if that's not enough, you'll also experience a clearing and healing from the Akashic Masters during this call. Well, this is going to be sensational. Lisa, thank you for joining us. Welcome.
Thank you, Debra. I am really excited to be here with you and be able to share this ancient wisdom with your listeners. So thanks for having me.
Well, I am absolutely excited. This is unique. I've never interviewed anybody before who accesses this wisdom of the Akashic Records. So this is very exciting. And I would love it if you could take a couple minutes, just maybe 3, 4, 5 minutes, and share what you believe to be the major turning points that allowed you to access this knowledge for yourself and then manifest your current level of success, helping so many people around the world with this. Just tell us your story.
Sure. Well, my story started actually when I was about 3 years old. So my first realization when I was just this little toddler learning how to speak was really the image of looking at my hands and thinking, oh my gosh, I'm in a body. What the heck am I thinking? And I said to my mom, I want to go home. And my mother said, but you are home. And I'm like, no, I want to go back. I want to go back. I don't want to be here. So my earliest memories were struggling with language, which I always laugh now means that I am very verbose. I speak quite a lot, and it has really colored the way I see the world because I had this memory of not being in a human physical body. I could remember being with just souls and the energy of being able to communicate without talking and just really sharing in just a unified field of oneness. So I was fortunate or, unfortunate in some ways to have that memory as a very small child and then to go on and do a lot of studying. When I was around 14, 15, 16, 18, I was living in California. It was the 70s, and there was a fair amount of interesting kind of information coming out. The Carlos Castaneda books, the Robert Monroe Journeys Out of the Body, all sorts of interesting stuff. Baba Ram Dass, Be Here Now, the great teachers and gurus were just coming to the West. And so I was fortunate to be in a place with parents that supported that work. Anyway, so it was the real beginning. And then really, I'd say some trauma set into my life in my 20s, and I really closed back down again. And it wasn't until about 15 years later where I realized, after getting really chronically ill, that I needed to get back on my path, that I had really strayed far from who I was and what I came to do. And so I literally started studying to be an intuitive, to be an energy healer. And I inadvertently started to receive information from the masters of the Akashic Records. But it took me about 5 years to figure out who I was talking to. When I get this big booming voice, really big picture information, just deep guidance, I'd always kind of walk away from those sessions and think, wow, that was the biggest, best, most profound information I ever got. But I didn't know, and I, for whatever reason, didn't ask who it was I was speaking to. So it was about 5 years later that I met someone who told me that I could actually access the records consciously at will by using a vibrational key in the form of a sacred prayer. And that really opened huge doors. And from that moment on, I was kind of running down this road to access the records. The lords and the masters of the Akashic Records immediately started to tell me that it was important that I share this information with the world. And so I've had this internal push, which has been fascinating to me in a way, to be really driven by another energy. And I know that that energy is the lords of the Akashic Records, who really want everybody to be able to access and use this information because it's so profound and life-changing.
Wow. I love that story from the beginning. Like, Mommy, I want to go back. I want to go home. Honey, you are home. No, I am not.
Yeah, I really think they thought I was pretty nuts. That was my brother, who is a couple years older. He told me as we got older that, my parents thought I was crazy. But they were good sports and they played along. So I'm really grateful for that.
Well, that's fantastic. So for the uninitiated, can you just give everybody a basic understanding of what the Akashic Records are?
Yes, yeah, absolutely. So the way I see the Akashic Record is as an information arm of divine source energy. Some people see it as a library with each book representing a lifetime. But the truth is the Akashic field is infinite and everywhere. So it's not actually housed in an etheric library. Everything is recorded in the Akashic field. That's everyone's life, every thought, every feeling, everything we've done, everywhere we've been and lived. So not just the earth plane, earth dimensions and the lives we've had here, but every life, wherever we've lived it, whether it was in a different dimension, such as the angelic realms or another planet or plane, it is all recorded in your soul's record. So even your pets have Akashic records, your business has an Akashic record, even though your business is not living in the same way as, we are, obviously. There is a dynamic vibration to that business, and it's connected to you or to a group of people. And so it has a vital energy, and it does get recorded. So it's also another really profound way we can use the Akashic Records, is not only with our life and our present life, but our business, our pets, our family groups. So it's very, very expansive.
Well, can I just point out one thing? You said our pets have an Akashic record. And I mean, really, could you believe your dog instantly started barking? That was like phenomenal. That is one intuitive little pooch you have there.
Well, yeah, the truth is that she and I have had many, many lives together. And the funny thing is she's a little 8-pound multi-poo, but she's a little warrior. And so I find that when I'm doing Akashic consultations for clients, sometimes if there's an energy that comes in the client's energy field that isn't in their highest and best, she'll get on the ground and she'll grr and she'll really get my attention until I clear that energy out. So she's my little warrior pup. It's very funny, my little white fluffy multi-poo.
No kidding. She's like your partner in crime. Good crime.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, it's beautiful.
That was kind of amazing. So, all right. So this is divine source information and it's divine source energy, and everything we've ever been, everything we're going to be is all recorded in the ethers, in the Akasha, and everything, even our pets, our businesses. There is an Akashic record for every entity, our family group. So how do we use the Akashic records to our benefit in our lives? What is the purpose of learning about them? How do we make use of them?
Well, the big picture is that we come into a lifetime. So each person actually makes a lot of choices. We come here with soul contracts. We come here to finish and complete vows, to work through some old karma, really to get in alignment with our soul purpose. And so when we can access the Akashic field and know what those are, it's so much easier to just kind of get on task and do your work, because we're not stumbling around oblivious to what we came here for. So that's kind of the really big answer. But what I'd also love to do for the group today is to do a short kind of guided meditation to bring everybody into the Akashic field with me, so the listeners can feel the energy and receive some Akashic healing as we talk about these different things today.
Hey, you go, girl. We're ready.
Okay. Oh, so what I just love everybody to do is just take a breath and sit back. Let your body relax into your chairs. Close your eyes if you can, if you're in a nice, safe, contained sort of environment. And we just breathe deeply, inviting our spirits to come further down into our physical form. Inviting our dear Mother Earth to help us to ground further as we become really present right here and right now. And we ask the divine lords of unconditional love to please help us center fully in this moment as we create this sacred space. Please wrap us in your love and protection and allow us to travel to the highest realms of the Akasha available to us today. Please help us as we lay our multidimensional hearts open to divine love and release all resistance. Lords of the Akashic Record, please guide us to the deepest truth that we can access now. Support us in healing and releasing that which no longer serves on our true path. And we give great thanks for your divine love and support on this journey today. So just allowing yourself to breathe into this expanse of energy. You may feel a shift that might seem like tingling or a little sparkly energy. You might even see the color in your room change a little bit as we go into this higher vibration. The Akashic field, or the Akashic vibration, is actually, I believe, the highest vibration that we can access here on Earth, because it is divine source energy. So we're really moving high into a high vibration. So just relax and enjoy that energy as we talk a little bit more about the Akashic field today and do a little bit of clearing as we work in the records on this call. So thank you.
Thank you. I definitely felt a shift, an energetic shift. That was lovely, and I feel it, the vibration surrounding all of us. And one of the things I know that everyone on the call knows, but I'm going to just remind you that if you're listening to this live or you're listening to this when we do a weekend replay or any time in the future, the energy is just as powerful. Am I correct, Lisa?
Yes, absolutely. That is one of the requests that I make of the Lords of the Akashic Records, is that this is really embedded in the call, so whenever someone listens to it, it's available for them to access that energy.
Beautiful. Well, before we did that, you were saying that we've come here with soul contracts and karma. And I would love for you to explain to people what soul contracts are. I don't know, does that have anything to do with the families that we were born into? Well, I know that I have heard that term soul contract, but I'm not even sure what it is. And how does that apply to the records?
Yeah. Well, I'll give you my funny story. And I'll just kind of preface that by saying that in the Akashic field, each person has their very own masters, teachers, beings of light that keep their personal records. So each person has their own records that are very specific to them. Now, I'm in the records of the group of the listeners to our call. And so as we access that, a lot of the information that I receive comes from the group energy and the group records. That said, one of the wonderful things about the lords and the masters and the teachers of our Akashic records is because they're beings of pure unconditional love, they can be really, really funny. So I always say, I'm not very funny, but the lords are. So they give me these really interesting and humorous images a lot of times. And so this is kind of a funny story. This is the way the masters explain soul contracts. So that preface. So what they say is, when we're a soul and we've decided we're coming back to Earth for another life, we all get together with a lot of our soul group, our bigger soul family, and they show me a picture like we're in a big gymnasium. Really, like where you go for PE, the big indoor basketball court or something like that. So you're in a big gymnasium, and there you are with hundreds of other souls who are all coming back to Earth, pretty soon, probably in the next year or 20 or maybe 50, because some of those might even be our grandchildren who are showing up to volunteer to be our grandchildren. But we start to plan out what we want to do in this lifetime. So we actually have a plan. Our souls are just infinitely wise. And we say, well, let's see, I have some old karma I'm ready to finish, so I need to do some work on forgiveness. Does anyone want to show up and help me to learn to forgive them? And a couple people raise their hands, and one of them may turn out to be your mean boss, and one of them may turn out to be a sister that torments you. And, we all pick really different styles of learning to forgive. I know there's a lot of light workers on the planet right now who are working on forgiveness around emotional and physical abuse. And part of the things that the masters have explained about why there's so many people working that particular soul contract at this time is because we're so powerful as a group. When one person heals something, they're healing it for everyone. And so when we have hundreds and thousands of people working on the same issue at the same time, our intention is to literally clear that old pattern for the planet. So a lot of people have come to work on forgiveness, which is just a huge one. And then we make soul contracts with other members in our soul family. Sometimes it might be marriage or children. And we say, are there any souls who want to be my kids in this lifetime? I'd like to have a lovely, supportive marriage. How about you or you? Because we've done that so well in the past. And so we literally set up all these soul contracts. So we might have, 50 or 100 or even more soul contracts when we come to Earth. So it's not just one. We don't ever just have one choice. Sometimes we have soul contracts with 6 children, and we end up only choosing to have 2 or 3 of those children because of, timing and all sorts of different things. And so even when we make these contracts, they're still not ever written in stone. So it's kind of interesting that way because it works out that we have usually more than one soul contract with someone to get married with, because what if I move from California and I end up living in, New York or Chicago or London? So I literally set it up so I have a bunch of different soul contracts with people around the world. So we're really wise souls.
Yeah. So I get it. And I love the image of the gymnasium. Of course, when you said, you were talking about people that we marry, and then you said, and sometimes we have 50 or 100. I thought, is she going to say that we have 50 or 100 people we're going to get married to? That would would be interesting. But I get that, so that there are all of these people and they choose to come back to interact with you because there's something, we have a contract that we need to complete, whether it's forgiveness, whether it's something that we didn't maybe speak up about in our past life, and this life, we're going to complete that, whatever that contract is or whatever. So I get that we have all of these different contracts. And I love the part that you said that when we're working on something, we're not only clearing it for ourselves, and it's so amazing because so many of us are working on the same issues right now. And how beautiful is that we're clearing it not just for ourselves, but for the entire planet at this time. That's what you said, yeah?
Yes, absolutely. It's very profound. So the two of the ones that I see that just pop up, really big group soul contracts with so many of the light workers around the world, two of them are really to clear this old program of abuse. And that's a huge one. And actually within that is rebalancing the masculine feminine energy and realigning divine masculine and divine feminine so they are again balanced. And that abuse is kind of in that category, but we often work them separately, but they're really intertwined. So it's very profound because that's really what the masters say is what this time that we're now going into, now that we've come through the 2012 doorway as we go forward to create a new earth, we're really going forward into rebalancing the masculine feminine first, so we can really step into the divine masculine, divine feminine balanced energies and create a beautiful, harmonious time on this planet.
Okay, well, two questions around that. One is, do we choose our family of origin based on the group of people that will best support finishing off these soul contracts? Like we, okay, I'll take this child, this spouse, because those are the people who will help us move forward in our evolution?
Yeah, I think that's really a great way of looking at it, because so often when I work with clients and say it's around a very abusive childhood, and they say, why would I pick something like that? And the big picture answer is because you wanted to help heal that for mankind, for humanity, for the whole planet. And so when you're not embodied, when you're this big, bright, shiny soul, you say, sure, let's go back. Let's pick this family that's abusive or has real poverty consciousness or, has some sort of trauma in the family. And so that I can remember who I am, I can help clear this for them and for myself and for humanity. And so we're really big, wise souls in truth. And so, yes, we choose sometimes very traumatic lives in order to be helpful, to be the light workers that we really are.
Well, another thing that you said at the beginning is that you would tell us when we knew that contract was up. How do we know that?
Well, I'm going to say that there's two pretty easy ways. The easiest way is to learn to open your Akashic Records and ask your masters. But really the truth is that when you really move into your heart and you ask, am I complete in this relationship? You will really feel it. It's so important to really empower yourself and to know that it doesn't take a million tools and 50 years of studying to be able to get a lot of these answers. A lot of it has to do with living in your heart, being able to really sink deeply into that heart space and expand and open in that place where you trust the guidance that's coming through your heart, and to really feel that, am I complete? Is there anything else that it's important for me to do or for me to know? And really, when we do that, we can receive very clear information and answers. So outside of that, I'm always good with when you're done and you feel you've done your work, your contract is complete. And even if the other person hasn't finished their side of the contract, the interesting thing that the masters always say is, as long as you've finished your work, and that really means being complete, being in your heart, doing your forgiveness work, and feeling like very positive, loving closure in any relationship, then you're complete. You are done. Even if it has to do with an abusive family that you're never going to see again. But when you really can move into a place of being in forgiveness, knowing that those are souls that are walking their soul path, learning and growing, and you can forgive, release, and move on, then your contract is really complete. And if they have more work to do, then they get to do it with someone else.
Got it. Okay. Well, is there any, you'll love that I'm going to ask this, is there any shortcut to finish with some of the karma that we came to complete, or you got to like slog through it?
Yeah, I actually do have a shortcut to clearing karma, and it is a prayer of forgiveness that the masters gave to me. And I know that there really are amazing different forgiveness prayers. I know in the Buddhist tradition that there's a lovely forgiveness prayer. And really the truth is that it's so profound to do forgiveness work in different levels and layers. And I'd love to lead the listeners and you through the forgiveness prayer that the masters of the Akashic Records have given to us. And so we can do that. And because, of course, everybody's in the Akashic vibration with me, I know that most people will feel, notice, release some level or layer of karma right here and right now.
Wow. Let's go.
Okay. So what I'll do is I'll just repeat this through 2 times. And so if everybody can just take a nice deep grounding breath again, dropping back into your hearts. And just close your eyes if you can and follow along with the intention that you are allowing the release of any karma that you are now ready to let go of. So we ask the divine spirit source to please help us to forgive anyone or anything that has hurt us in the past from the beginning of time until this moment, whether they're conscious of it or not. We forgive and release them of any obligation we may have together. Divine spirit source, please help me to forgive myself for any hurt that I have caused in the past from the beginning of time until this moment, whether conscious or unconscious, to myself or to someone else. I ask forgiveness for myself, and I forgive them and release them of any obligation we may have together. Divine Spirit Source, please help us to forgive anyone or anything that has hurt us in the past from the beginning of time until this moment, whether they are conscious of the hurt or not. Please forgive and release them of any obligation we may have together. Divine Spirit Source, please help me to forgive myself for any hurt that I have caused in the past from the beginning of time until this moment, whether conscious or unconscious, to myself or to someone else. I ask forgiveness for myself, and I release them of any obligation we may have together, and I forgive each and every soul that may have hurt me in any way. And so it is. Okay. That felt really good. Really, really good. So I find that forgiving ourselves is always often one of the hardest things for us to do. Sometimes it's much easier for us to forgive others, but we continue to kind of beat ourselves up for not being perfect or quite on our path or doing exactly what we think we should be doing. So that's one of the pieces I really, really love about this forgiveness prayer, is that it helps us to remember to forgive ourselves daily also. And so I do teach that it's very useful to do it for 33 days consecutively, because the energy really builds and people often feel huge chunks of coal drop out of their heart, or, the weight of the world lifted off of their shoulders. Something really pretty physical even and life shifting. And so a lot of my clients and students come back and say, wow, after 33 days, even after one day, that was so profound to really be able to move into my heart and feel and release some old energy, some old trauma that I've been hanging on to for so long. So, oh, yes. So I know that each and every one will have some experience of that today.
Lisa, another thing that I love about what you do is that you actually teach people how to access their own Akashic Records, which is really beautiful because you allow us to become self-sufficient so that we can do that at will. How can learning to access my own records help me to live a more abundant, more prosperous, more, rich in relationships, just to live a more amazing life?
Yeah. Well, there's a couple of pieces to the Akashic Records. And really the biggest piece that I find is that because this is the vibration of the divine source energy, that we have been gifted a sacred prayer to shift into that energy in a moment. That it allows us to see the world from a very different view. So when we're feeling like we're really stuck in an issue or a trauma, whether it's about a relationship or not having, not feeling like we have enough money or all sorts of abundance in our lives, when we shift into this very high vibration, into this view of the world in a different way, it allows us to pull ourselves out of the trauma. And actually accessing the Akashic Records, there's a lot of profound healing energy and information. And just like I say, the masters and the teachers, the lords of our Akashic Records are here to help us heal and clear this. And so they've given me many different tools, which I do teach in the class. And so when we start to use all these tools and access the records daily, we can move from a vibration of lack into realizing that there is abundance all around us. And we all of a sudden start to see new doorways, new paths open up, new people call, new opportunities show up. And so it might be about getting new clients or finding that great soul love that you've been looking for. It really helps us to shift from, like I say, from this mundane energy into really seeing the grace and the ease that can be present for you here on this planet. So it's very, very beautiful because it helps us raise our vibration and see the world in a different way. And the masters help us with everything from what are the highest and best foods for us to eat so that we can start to heal our body. Many people say that they actually lose weight when they start working in the Akashic Records because they're called to eat a higher vibrational food. And so they naturally just start to shed a couple pounds and start to feel healthier because they're working with the physical realm through the Akashic Records and actually being called to eat more healthily. Helping to organize your day. You can actually literally ask your masters, what's the best way for me to organize my day so that I have plenty of time for everything? And so we start to just shift the way we look at life and things come with much more ease. So it can be life-changing in all sorts of little ways and, of course, in really huge ways because I have lots of clients and, of course, students who have changed their work or the trajectory that they were on when they started to access the records and realized that they really weren't walking their soul path or weren't really on purpose. And so when they really got that information in the records, they changed what they were doing and they started to do different sorts of work or learn something new or really step into the fact that they were light workers and have come to hold this vibration for the planet in so many different ways. So I see lots and lots of changes and great shifts as people start to access their records and receive this information.
Can anyone access their records? I mean, a lot of us feel like, oh, I'm just not intuitive. This seems like something that you could do, Lisa, but I don't know if I could do this. Or is it something that doesn't really take a special talent?
I basically say that it doesn't really take a special talent. My funny story, when I was more of an intuitive and a healer, like I was the worst psychic ever. I was not very anything, clairvoyant, clairaudient, clair anything. And so when I started to access the records, the way I teach it is to use writing to allow wisdom and information to just kind of move through you onto the paper. So you don't have to feel like you're really clairvoyant or like you can hear like you're clairaudient or you're like a really amazing and, intuitive. So you really don't have to have a lot of gifts already. A lot of my students just really come to the work kind of really as newbies, honestly. They're called to the words, to the Akashic energy, to the vibration. Many, many people have had past lives accessing this information in different ways, in temples, in goddess temples, as teachers or oracles. And so it's an ancient, ancient wisdom, and so many people have actually used it in the past, that people feel that energy and they don't know why they're called to the records, but they really are. And so it opens brand new doorways for them. And of course, I always say, like learning anything new, it's important to practice, just like you would practice anything, like you would practice the piano or practice meditation. It's very important to practice and to make it part of your life. But I really find that almost everybody I've taught has really been able to access their records.
Well, that's very exciting. So we're looking forward to being able to do that. And I think this might be a good time to experience. You said that you were going to do a clearing, healing from the Akashic Masters to help us reclaim past life information. Is this a good time to do that?
Yeah, that would be great. So what I love to do is it's really a kind of guided visualization. And what we'll do is we will move out of time and space, and we'll move down the road, down into our past lives, and we will reclaim and receive gifts from our soul that will support us in our present life journey and our present life's purpose. Okay, so it's very fun, and if you can't sit and close your eyes and really do this as a kind of a guided visualization, hopefully people will get a chance to go back and re-listen to it, because it's really, really lovely to do it that way, and you'll really feel and experience that vibration. So again, I just invite you to sit back and relax and drop into your hearts. Knowing that your body is safe right here, right now, wherever you are. And we're just going to take a little journey out of time and space into one of the profound past lives that you've had. So closing your eyes, just imagine that you see yourself standing up and walking to your front door. And you open that front door and you step outside. But there's a different view than you've ever seen before. And what you see is an expansive field of beautiful green blowing grass with a lovely white path that runs right through the middle. And out in the distance is a dense grove of trees. And so we're going to walk down that path. And each step we take takes us one step further into the past. And slowly we put one foot in front of the other. We're walking through this beautiful green field. We feel a gorgeous, warm breeze blowing. The air is fresh and soft. We feel ourselves moving just in an interesting way throughout time and space. We feel ourselves shifting into another dimension. And it's safe, and it's solid, and we feel guided, guarded, and protected as we continue to put one foot in front of the other. And as we walk through this field, we're getting closer and closer to the trees. And here we are, stepping into this forest on a little soft green path. And we start to walk into this dense wood. And in this woods is one of your past lives in which you were very, very prolific, profound, and productive at whatever it is your soul is calling for you to do in this current life. So we walk through these woods and we look to our left and we see a sparkling light out in the distance. We glance to our right and we hear some singing and laughter. But we continue to walk. We're not called yet. We haven't found that perfect life yet. So we continue walking further and deeper into our past. Again, looking to the left, we see a village or a town. And looking off to our right, we see some sparkling lights. Maybe there's a castle out there. And we slowly keep walking as we just consciously open our hearts with the intention that the next light we see out in the woods will be the past life that we're called to visit. And so we look off into the woods and we see some beautiful sparkling lights. We see a village and hear some laughter. Maybe you see a bonfire, a town, a castle, even a city. Whatever it is for you, you get to walk into that past life in which you really were able to access your soul purpose. You lived clearly aligned on your soul path. And that path and that purpose is aligned with your purpose right here and now in this lifetime. So we walk into this wonderful life, and many, many people run to you. They gather around you. They're so, see you again. They throw their arms around you. They make a circle about you. They sing songs and bring you into the center of town. And there's a feast laid out in your honor. These people miss you. You were profound in their lives. You were a teacher and a guide, a healer, a wise man or woman. You loved them. You shared your talents, your music, your books, your healing abilities, your love. You shared so much with these people. And they're so grateful to see you and to give you these gifts. So you join them at this banquet and you get to receive all sorts of their love. And they give you boxes of gifts. And each box they hand you, you bring into your heart and it melts right into your chest. Each box, each present is a gift of the greatness of the soul that you truly are. Each gift you can embody again in the presence of who you truly are. So breathing deeply, you allow yourself to receive this wisdom and all of these gifts that are showered upon you right here and right now. And with much love and gratitude, you hug these beautiful souls and beings. You thank them for remembering and reminding you who you truly are, reminding you who you came to be in this lifetime, and helping you remember all of the profound and amazing, beautiful gifts that you have. So blowing kisses to them all, you walk back to the little green path in the middle of the woods and waving goodbye. We come back into the present, one foot in front of the other, up this green path, glancing out into the woods, holding your arms open wide, receiving all of the gifts from these other past lives that you didn't get to visit, but you can receive these gifts nonetheless. So with the intention that you're receiving so many gifts from so many beautiful, profound, abundant, loving lives, we step out of the woods into the field, back onto this white path. And you can see your door across the field. And as we come back into this more present time, we walk up this path and we reach our front door and we open the door and we step back into our building, into our homes, back into our safe and sacred spaces. And we walk into our rooms and we see our bodies waiting for us, safe and sound, right there in our chairs. And we give great thanks for the journey that we've taken, and we give great thanks for being able to travel out of time and space to receive this wisdom and to come right back here, right now in this present time. So taking a deep breath, wiggle your toes and fingers and open your eyes. And feel all of the great, great gifts that you've received. Feel them integrating into your physical body right here in this present moment. Welcome home.
Oh, thank you for that. Wow.
You're welcome.
That was amazing. I was going to say that was delicious. Oh, well, so now in the moments that we have left, I wish that we had hours left, but we only have moments left. Can you share with us what's possible for the people who are listening here today, and take a few minutes and tell us some of the results, some of the turnarounds you've seen from people who have utilized and applied what you teach? You have a few of these turnarounds that you could share with us?
Sure. So one of the things that I receive emails so often, which are so beautiful, is that what people realize is when they start accessing their own Akashic records and work in this high vibration, that they are really able to release so much of the old trauma that they were holding on to, their old story. So whatever that story is for you, and we've talked a little bit about some of the stories that people have been hanging on to, but whatever your story is, as we raise our vibration and we step into this energy of pure unconditional love, we're able to let those old stories go. So one of my students was so excited because she said, you know, I've been walking around without clear boundaries and just being ungrounded and spacey throughout my life. And just after like one day of class, using the Akashic Record prayers and using the forgiveness prayer for clearing karma, she said she completely realized the main reason she had come to this earth. And so she realized that so much of her work was about really being in forgiveness and sharing her light and actually becoming a teacher of her own profound wisdom. And so from moving out of her little story into this big, expansive story, literally in kind of one day of working in the records, one day of listening to the classes. And so other people have said that really learning how to create boundaries by moving other people out of their space and using all of the healing tools that the masters have given them have made huge and profound shifts in their lives. Just helping them to align and get on their soul path really makes a big difference for people. Deep inner peace. A lot of times people say, I just feel so much peace now. It's so beautiful. That drama and trauma is gone. And now I just feel like I can be happy and go on after learning to access the records, use the healing tools, and, doing some work with me that people just say in such a short time they didn't even realize that it was possible. So I really feel so blessed to be able to share this work with so many people and see people's lives change in so many positive ways.
Beautiful. And of course, true confessions, I had a session with you before this interview, and you know how much you helped me, both when we accessed my Akashic Records and I had some questions about a current relationship, and based on the knowledge that you shared with me from the Lords of my Akashic Records and the Masters of my Akashic Records, I was able to see that relationship in the correct perspective, and it was absolutely life-changing for me, so profoundly life-changing. And also there were some concerns I had about my son, and that was also in my records, and that was incredibly life-changing too. So I am a product of the product for sure. So for anyone else who would love to be a product of the product, there is so much more to learn from Lisa, and she has created a phenomenal special offer for our community, and I highly encourage you to go to Lisa's special offer page right now. Simply click on the special offer button that's on this page. And Lisa, can you let everyone know what they'll find there?
Sure, I would love to. So this is my passion, and I'm really, really hoping that it becomes your passion too. And I have put together 6 classes. They're each 2.5-hour workshops to learn to access your records. And that kind of sounds like a lot when I say it, but what I can tell you is that I am literally channeling the Lords and the Masters, the teachers of the Akashic Records, really for that 12 hours to help each and every one of you learn to access your personal Akashic Records. So the Masters have given me 4 different sacred prayers which act as the vibrational keys. And so in the first session and the second session, we work on processes. We work with these 4 different sacred prayers, and you really delve deeply into accessing your own Akashic Records right off in the first 2 weeks. And so what the Master said to me was that we have so many people on the planet right now that really have different soul lineages that come from different planets, planes, and dimensions, that one prayer was not just enough to cover all of humanity. So they have given me 4 prayers so that each person can find the one that resonates the most with them. And so we learn about the Akashic Records. We do a beautiful guided meditation called Guided, Guarded, and Protected to help you fill yourself up with your highest Akashic vibration as we do this work, learning to access the records, using exercises and processes as we deepen into the records. And then we really go on, and in the 3rd session, we work with some of these other healing tools. So we did the forgiveness prayer for clearing karma, but there's 4 more prayers that the Masters have also given to us. And so we learn all 5 prayers, what they mean, what they're for, and do some different work with them in our Akashic Records. We also work in grace, around living in grace. So in the fourth session, we work with body points that help us to be in the flow and receive divine energy and grace through this amazing tool. And so in the fifth session, we work through some old emotions, which is really, really profound. We're actually doing exercises in the Akashic Records to help you clear some old stuck emotions and old trauma out of your space. We're working with these tools. So I'm giving you the tools. I'm teaching you the prayers. I'm teaching you the 5 healing prayers and the grace point tools. And then in the next 2 weeks, we really use them so that you're getting to do healing work, clearing work all around your own old emotional traumas, physical level traumas. So we just keep deepening into the Akashic field as we go through the 6 sessions. And then the final, I added a 7th session, which is just a question and answer session that's pre-recorded. So you can hear some of the questions that other students have asked. And very often they're the same ones that you probably have in your mind. And then I've added a 30-page bonus manual, so you literally can print out a 30-page Akashic Record manual so you can follow along. You've got the prayers right in front of you, the Akashic Record prayers, the healing tools, everything right there. In physical form, you can print that out so you get a PDF of that. And then I also really want to offer people the chance of working with me in a consultation if you're called and drawn to that. So I have added a coupon for a 30% discount on an Akashic consultation, on a 60-minute private Akashic consultation and healing session with me. And I do a lot of healing, clearing, and very strong, powerful, if I say so myself, really records healing through the Akashic Records with the support and guidance of the Lords and Masters of the Akashic Records. So working in a private consultation can be very, very profound also, and is also really helpful as you learn to access your records. And then I love to invite you to, is another bonus, to join my private Facebook group where I visit there every day or so, and you can ask questions right on the Facebook group, meet some other people who are students right along with you, ask questions, chat with other people. So it's really fun to get together. So I have put this package together for your wonderful listeners, Debra, and the total value is $915, and I'm offering it to your group for $146. So hopefully people will really get the vibration, and if you feel the calling, I would certainly love to have you join me in the Akashic field.
Mm-hmm. You know what's so beautiful? I didn't realize that you were going to offer this 30% discount for your private Akashic consultation, and the 146. I mean, that covers that, and everything else is basically free. So seriously, this is such a beautiful offer. I am so grateful that you've created this. I am so, so very grateful because, as I said, I'm familiar with your work. I know how much it's impacted me. I know how much it's impacted so many people throughout the world, not just the country. And thank you. And I sincerely hope that I really encourage you to take advantage of the special offer and experience it for yourself. 2 more quick questions for you. What would be the biggest benefits that you've seen that people can expect to experience starting right away and then over time by applying what they learn in your program?
I think that one of the biggest benefits is in actually raising our vibration. So very often people talk about raising our vibration or what our human vibration is. And the truth is that the vibration on the planet, the kind of average human vibration, is a little bit dense. And so as we step into the Akashic field every day by using the sacred prayer, and literally you can do that from day one by using one of the 4 sacred prayers that the masters have given us. You literally just say the prayer and you shift your vibration to this very high vibration. And it allows us to do so many different things. It actually is a path to oneness, awakening, enlightenment over time. So that's kind of the over time answer. As we really deepen into the Akashic field, we raise our vibration in a permanent fashion. And so we see our lives change because we're literally becoming high vibrational beings. And as we're doing this in a daily level, sometimes as we raise our vibration, our old problems just fall away. They literally disappear because they can't touch us anymore. We've shifted our vibration to a new level. And so, we've just moved out of that old kind of dense, old muck and mire, and we leave that heavier earthly energy and drama behind. And so the big piece is, if you want to create the new earth, if you really are desiring to create heaven on earth for yourself in this lifetime, this is what the masters have told us is a very simple and profound way to do it. By raising your vibration, by being guided by the Akashic masters, teachers, and beings of light, by listening to their guidance so that you can really be on your path, doing your soul work, finishing your soul contracts, and being a being of forgiveness and love and light, and also helping to heal the planet. So it's very profound work in so many levels that I really see people's lives change just miraculously. It's wonderful.
Well, thank you for that explanation. And I love it that you kind of just casually throw in and completely change and contribute to the light coming onto the planet, which I think is a beautiful little bonus that you get from working in the Akashic Records and raising your vibration. So thank you for that. One more time for Lisa's really gorgeous, really generous program that she is offering our community. If you haven't done it yet, just click on the special offer button on this page to see for yourself what an amazing package this is. You will be so glad you did. And before we say goodbye, are there any final thoughts you'd like to share with everyone?
I just really would like to share a message from the Akashic Masters, which is that you are pure divine energy. Allow yourself to live in your heart and know the truth of who you are so that you can create your beautiful, profound heaven on earth for yourself. They love you and they're here to support you each and every day, every step of the way. So, thank you.
And thank you, Lisa. This has been extraordinary. Will you come back again?
I would love to. Thank you.
Well, we would love to have you. So thank you so much. And thank you to everyone for spending this time with me and with Lisa Barnett. And I look forward to when we are all together again and to you living your life without limits. This is Debra Poneman. Have a spectacular rest of your day.